Alright, is this thing working? No, this is what's, not what else update. I'm doing some virtual co-working with my work, doing some system design. Let me just fill in over there on this other side. Let's do a split view right now. Oops, I can't do it here. Let's see, where's my mouse cursor? Split view, so I'm just typing into this other computer. Doing some virtual co-working. It will be JavaScript. System refactoring. So the other day I mentioned that I was... I didn't hear anything. The other day I was mentioning that... Oh, what's going on? I have to do some work with... Okay, this is working. Just confirming that we have audio. There we go. Sorry, like I'm a little bit distracted today. I'm just getting to work, starting work really late. I have a new gaming headset that I'm trying with the streaming just to see how the audio quality is. It looks like the levels are pretty good. It doesn't really have the high end as some of the other ones, but you know these are comfortable and I can isolate the sound so I can actually listen to stuff as I'm working, which I can't really do with the when I have the open mic going. So we'll see how it goes. It's a Sennheiser Game 1. Sounds really good. The microphone itself, though, as I mentioned, it's frequency limited. Its sample rate on this is 16 kilohertz, which means like it's good for up to, I would say, mid-range voice levels, but not really good for reproducing high-end. But it's probably good enough. So what are we doing today? We are going to work, or I am going to work. Oops, what I just... Like magic keyboard thing doesn't work really well with when I don't have the mouse cursor on the wrong screen. But anyway, I'm going to do some system design, and this means I'm using a different program, one called Affinity Designer. I've just been trying this out. It's a program that's similar to Adobe Illustrator. That's strange. Oh, I'm trying to launch the damn thing. I don't have it on my toolbar thing up here, so I need to go through Launchpad and launch it that way. Affinity Designer. This is the trial. I hope I haven't run out of days to try this. How many days left do I have? Okay, that's Affinity Designer. It's not telling me that I've expired. So yeah, let's see if this actually will go full screen, like a real Macintosh app. It does! That's fantastic. Unlike cough, Adobe Illustrator. You know. And so like I'm already noticing that the interactive responsiveness is pretty good. So what I'm doing is I'm breaking down all the different systems in the video recording and playback part of this software we're developing for these educators. I mean, it works, but it could work better. It's laggy. The video system is built on top of the session recording system, which captures all this data that's happening. And since they are different processes, you know, there's different file streams. They're not actually in sync with each other. And I need to actually build a way to simplify the communications and also ensure synchronization between the video stream and the simulation data stream, and also support random access with it. One of the problems I was solving last week was that the video didn't seem to be seeking, and I thought that the video file format that was being saved wasn't capable of being seeked. But it turned out that actually, to do a video seek in a web browser, you actually need to have the web browser be pretty idle and have plenty of CPU time available. Otherwise, it just runs really, really, really slowly. So a seek of, let's say, you're jumping from the middle of the movie to like 3/4 of the way movie, or like back to the beginning. A reasonable performance would be maybe a second to wait before that happens. So you'll click, jump, click, jump. This was taking 20 or 30 seconds before I even realized that it was just working really slowly. There's no other feedback that's happening. So the disappointing thing is, so I figured out that was going on when I was doing a very much more simple test. Our app actually is running every frame and it's doing all this calculation and stuff. And I thought this is the first time we've actually hit the performance limit of the browser. I was surprised at how much we could do in it. But we hit the performance limit in the browser in which we were actually exceeding the amount of available processing time to do everything we wanted. That said, we're not doing everything to make it more efficient. We haven't had the need to now, but now we have the need to make it more efficient. So I went through and made some changes to improve the efficiency. Basically, just not running a lot of stuff that we didn't need to run during playback. So, for example, if we're playing back session data with video, we don't really need to be simulating anything currently. So disable the simulation for then. Before we were just hiding it. Likewise, we don't. If we're not expecting to be running the recorder interface, we can just shut that part down, and then that just reduces that as much as possible. Likewise, if we have two sets of visual elements on the screen. One is the played back visual elements. The other one are the live visual elements. And what we were doing, or what I was doing, was I was updating both sets, even though one set was hidden. And that was the major hit, I think. And AI systems were running that didn't need to run during playback, stuff like that. So the performance is back down to, it's about a second now, which is great. And a more extreme optimization might be to start moving some calculations into what's called a web worker. A web worker is an HTML5 process that can run concurrent with the main browser process. All the stuff JavaScript all runs in one thread. They say it's basically it's one. Think of a compute engine doing everything, I/O, I guess video and stuff like this. So that might have been the reason why I was blocking so much. But I don't know. I've never worked with web workers before. I just know they exist. And oh hey Vicky, just saw her message there. Anyway, long story short, I need to do some stuff here. What time is it now? I've been kind of dragging my feet on this all day, but I think the rest of the day I'm going to be working on this. And as I'm doing this, testing this microphone, I assume people are going to hear it. I did an audio test here, and it sounds like audio is coming through. Anyway, yeah, it's maybe a little bit thin sounding compared to the other microphone, but we'll see how this goes. It's probably good enough for games. Anyway, I'm looking at Affinity Designer here, and these text things are modules that I'm breaking down. And this is a question I left yesterday, or when I was last working on this on Friday, to remind me where to pick up on this. What is the message signaling order? Now these modules are in this code over here. So I guess what I need to do is, oh neat, I can zoom in with the mouse wheel. Does it zoom where the mouse pointer is? Yes, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Good. So that's pretty neat. So a plus one for Affinity Designer. I'd like to compare this with the other one called Sketch, another Macintosh thing. That's only available for the Mac though. Affinity Designer is available for both Mac and PC. Although I think they're not going to renew my license on Sketch, so I might not be able to do it because I don't think it's worth paying for it again. Another $99. At the time I bought it, it was like $49. In fact, I'm surprised I actually haven't gotten like an email response from them. So we'll see. So I need to dive in and do this. So what is the best way? So I have all these modules, and I want to do the message signaling order. What do I even mean by that? And I could switch back and forth laboriously between this screen and this screen and this screen and this screen. I could actually, maybe the better way to do it, since Affinity Designer supports split screen, is to merge these screens together like this. And so that I can have on this side, I can at least like go through each of the files. This is a little bit cramped, but it's doable. If I had a higher resolution monitor, it might be nice. And it's nice that this is still working, unlike Illustrator with its ancient app framework. Okay, so this might work. You know, or it's another point for Affinity Designer. So what is the messaging signaling order? Rather than try to type it into Affinity Designer here, what I'm going to do is find my diary for this. Dev diary.txt. This is the current work. These are my notes. This is optimization stuff. Let's say this went from August 23rd to whatever last Friday was. What was last Friday? Phone around here. I'll just look at it. Look at my calendar. Calendar. I guess I could look it up on. Last Friday was the 26th? No, the 25th? So all these things got fixed. Oh, I didn't check show image yet. But, you know, that's something for the testers to look at. Should still work, but I can't say for sure. So this is work. I'm updating my dev diary here. Work for blah blah. Work August. Day is what, the 28th? No, today's the 30th, I think. No, it's the 29th. I started this the 28th. Let's make that a dash. Alright, so the question today, or the focus is on messaging. And it's 4:30 now, so I'll start the clock at 4:30 for the billing clock. So, like, to redesign this system, there's all these different system elements here that, so, like, actually, I don't even have the React interface on here yet. Oops. Okay, this still has the Illustrator commands, which is nice. So, on the client side of things, we have, let's see, we have the Unisys client, we have the actual game, Particles, that's in bold, Particles Teacher. So let's start with Particles Teacher, and maybe the way to do that would just be to look at it. And just write down a few things that come to mind. So I'll just launch this terminal window here. cd dev, cd build, cd play, cd build, go up. And we don't need to run the video server yet because we're just reviewing what functions are there. It's easy for me to look at it and try and pull them up that way than actually try to remember them. So the server is spinning up. And now we will pull up a browser. Let's put the sign over this side. And let's run this thing. So what says localhost 3000 is where the local web server is. And we want to look at, need to run the particle game. It's the actual dingus. And then we also need to run the teacher app, which is running on an iPad Pro usually, but it works just fine on my laptop. And let's look at this application. So, the pertinent controls are the webcam control. So, webcam, let's see. Let's switch away for a second. Slate just want to clear out this note area, clear out this area. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. I have files here. So okay, I go back to here. So this is an app utility called, what is this called? Unclutter. So the cool thing about Unclutter is that, like, if I need to keep a note, I can just scroll to the top of the screen and use the mouse wheel to pull down this area, and I can leave notes in here. So the notes I'm going to leave are, like, there is a webcam button. Let's give me a button list. Webcam. Say webcam. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Webcam, and I think just turns on the webcam, but it's using WebRTC here instead of the actual webcam. So it probably isn't going to work. What the hell is this thing? Close that drawer. That's a normal error, so it should have tried to. So I guess this isn't actually sending messages. So let me write down the webcam button, and then sales call. Oh, is this? I don't know if this is actually stringing into. Sales call? Can you hear me? I'm streaming right now, so this is a lot of wind noise coming in. Let me try something here. I'm gonna adjust the loop back here and add another app to this. I will add Discord. I wonder if that will loop back, because that would be awesome. A bazillion. Alright, so now allegedly it's pulling audio from Discord as well, but I don't know. It might be very quiet.
Oh.
I don't know. Gonna have to, like, yeah, there's a lot of microphone handling noise coming from you. It's like rubbing against something or something like that. Anyway, I think I'll just leave the chat so I don't bother you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Alright, so anyway, so this will come in handy if I had to do any kind of recording with people in the chat room, which is nice. Not the YouTube chat, but the Discord chat where we run our virtual co-working server. So the webcam button, and then so what I said I was doing before is I want to record the messages that go back and forth between things. So when I click this button in this app, it sends something to my server, which is running here in the terminal window. In the lower left, you can see all these errors are coming from when I click that webcam button, I guess. Transport errors, because I'm not running the complete video server. And somewhere here there's a start recording button. So that's the other button. Start recording. So now that we got these things. Oops. What happened there? That's interesting. I didn't know you could compress these. Interesting. So anyway, let's go back to here. Click down here. Focus on messaging. So we have a button, or the webcam button. And just to warm up on this, let's just see what happens with the webcam button. I believe this starts from teacher app slash, there's probably some React component that's doing this. So, this might be an issue. Oh, I can do this. I was thinking I didn't have enough window. I needed another window, and I forgot that I could actually have two rows. So let's go down here. Let's put the div diary down here. And up here, we need to load particles teacher. Or is it teacher? Particles teacher. It's a JSX file. That's a React file. And this loads something called simulation control, which loads something called. I think I made a note of what this was. Teacher. I mean, that's articles teacher. I can't find it. I'd made a note of everything that was, where to exactly look to find it. I guess this is the downfall of when you're making putting together a React app out of components. You end up with, okay, I need to load simulation control, playback control. I think playback control is the one I want. Playback control is playback control. Playback control JSX. Playback control. And in playback control, we have game playback. Oh, we also have session loading. Loading sessions. Load session. We'll look at that too. How am I doing? Let's indent that so I can find it later. So what I'm trying to do is just make a reference of where to find all this stuff. So actually, I don't think playback control is what I wanted. Webcam. I was looking for webcam button, duh. And also I need to record or start recording is the other button. This is the webcam toggle. Toggle button. So I'm a little bit scatterbrained right now, but that's why I'm doing this, just to write things down, get the text in a form that when I look at it, it helps guide my thinking. This is part of, not start, this is part of a load session. No, wait, I was looking at start recording. Well, actually, this is part of that. The recording button itself is probably common controls? This is a way that I could tell. So I'm think playback. Okay, this is part of simulation control. This is like a tab. Oh wait, no, it's not. Or is it? They seem to have the same thing on it. Well, the layout's different too for some reason. That's a little bit awful. Maybe we can fix it. Simulation control. This is import the same character. Duplicating the same buttons. So control panel controls, I have no idea what those are. Common controls. For some reason the layout's different on this. Student controls. Yeah. I wonder if there's a better way to put together controls like this instead of having it so nested. Maybe it's just something that you have to do. I'm getting lazy here. I'm going to just figure out where the stupid button is. So there's simulation control. I'm going to inspect the start recording button and just see if there's some text I can find. It's in a form group. It's in a looking for an ID that I can go off of. Oh, a lot of this is auto-generated code, I think. This button is called what? Well, yeah, okay, so I'll do this. Let me do is find. Let's see, how do I do that? This is, I guess we'll search assets. Find in folder and start recording. Oops, I misspelled it. Oh, it's case sensitive probably. There must be a better way of doing these kind of finds. Start recording. I guess I could disable. Yeah, that's more like it. So these are in here. This is modules 41 games, video consumer, video Oh, that's weird. This isn't even using video consumer doesn't even use the same component. Is that why they look different? Yeah. Or maybe not. I don't know. Alright, so this is what we want the record button, I think. Let's see what this looks like. And let's find who actually imports record button. Common controls. So simulation control brings in common controls. So that would be teacher app, common controls. I just lost where it was. Common controls was record button. Okay. Record button. And in record button, what does this actually do? On the record button, let's stop. Oh, that's interesting. There's two labels. Class on button recording. Checked playback dot recording. Disabled playback recording. I didn't know you could do it. So it calls us on toggle on recording click. Oops. On recording click. Which is a handler for this, which is where here. What does this do? It calls start or stop recording. Stop recording or so this is I'm working out the logic of this. Start recording is this is start recording. What does this do? And start recording gets the simulation parameters. You turn on wrapping, I guess. Oh, it is wrapping. Just looks like crap. So it uses a broadcast start session. How come this word wrapping isn't quite working right? That's weird. It's not word wrapping at all. That's weird. I could have sworn it was turned on. Wasn't it turned on? So, start session, time, duration. Okay, so then it says a window. Then it says the start time after 500 milliseconds. Why doesn't it just do the call, a start session call and use the callback feature? And that's something else for another day, but I might have to rewrite that. Broadcast start session with current time and duration. What? Duration of what? How could it possibly know what the duration is when you're starting recording? Simulation parameters are part of this. I don't see the constructor doesn't do anything. So it's probably sending out a number. It's odd. Oh, here's prop types. Where are the props set? Okay, that would be set in playback control, or not playback control. Let's close that. Common controls. Common controls will pass down the property when it's invoking the button, record button, and no props are being passed down. So duration must be empty. Might be null in current code. And then stop recording. Let's see what we got in there. It's broadcast stop session with current time. Then it also does another broadcast. I think this is I guess these broadcasts are being used because at the time the use of broadcast versus call wasn't clear to people. Is there actually a distinction? Maybe not. Oh, broadcast doesn't support callbacks. Call does. So broadcast is used for system events. And so it shouldn't probably be used like this. But it's alright. Okay, so because if you did turn this into a call, you could do it. I should just change all those things. Let me make a list of stuff that I need to review. I'll put it in this text file here. Things to review. Code review notes. Let's see. Record button. Start recording. And start or stop recording. Use Unisys call. Broadcast. When they probably should use Unisys call with a callback to set the other values, or to set dependent of the call succeeding, rather than using an arbitrary delay of 500 milliseconds to fire. The next part. All right. So we have this. So basically what we need is a stop session. And so we need to know who's handling stop session. Stop session will be handled by, let's do, I guess there's another find and file. Let's look at start session first. Who is implementing the start session message? Default particles is the only one. So this is one of the messages. Start, or let's see, particle. Handles start session. So we should be able to find that here. And calls m start session. Yeah, so look at this. This is actually the call format, not the broadcast format. I should make it detect bad uses of it. Detect broadcast on message handlers that respond to calls. You can tell if a handler expects a call, if is a cb done closer function. So where are we up to now? This m start session. M start session. What does this do? It's in default particles m start session. What does this do? It gets the current unit ID in the meta. Calls the unisys recorder. Calls unisys recorder record start with session info, a list of messages to save, to start recording, and various options. One of the things to do here with recording options. So now we need to look at unisys recorder record start. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's been a while since I've looked at this code, so I need to refresh my way with how all the systems intertwine. So let's see, Unisys Recorder is we're still on the client side too. Unisys Recorder is the module that implements an abstract or a queryable interface for the actual recording system, which is on the server. So the server and this module talk back and forth to keep everything synchronized, and so anyone who imports Unisys Recorder, like any web app in the system, will also get the same state. Ugh, I forgot that's getting tired already. So we know we're looking for record start. So this is his. Record start takes a session record scope object. And some stuff. What messages happen? It sends a packet. Send it's the data for this. Rec command record start to the Unisys network. Okay, server. All right. So let's do this. So that's when we leave the client. So now we're on the server, and server is handled by step unisys. Step unisys implements a command parser, or it listens to a socket. Oh, let me see. I might have forgotten something here. So step unisys. Oops. Let's close some of these other things. What changes? I don't think I've made changes to the split list. I'm just going to close it. X render shouldn't be an issue. Step unisys, step recorder, class rec file reader, step web server we don't quite need. We don't need this rec file. Probably don't need unisys there. We need default particles. Might definitions, yes. So I was just in unisys recorder, which is the client side. So it's sending a recorder command. Send recorder command. Record start. And there's a data payload of what? Where is this defined? This looks like a bug. Oh no, this is the callback function, so that's fine. The rec packet is just the command with the recording scope. Session recording scope is this. Okay. Um, this contains what data is in that. We were Unisys recorder was being called from default particles, right? Yeah, and it was including session info, unit ID, session or states of matter, game ID, current game ID, messages, save, and options. Where was I again? That was not in Unisys recorder, was it? Yes, it was. So it's confirming everything. Session scope. That's called from up there. Session scope is the same as this is the intern of session scope. Should it be called scope? Maybe. I think that's an old name that I used to. This used to work a lot different, but. Oh, God, I'm getting a headache already. I don't understand why I wasn't looking forward to doing this. But once I push myself through for these two features, I think I'll be able to then get back over on this side and then cleanly be able to implement these new features. Although I'm have a tremendous headache right now. Anyway, so we have stopped the recording. Now we're back on the server. The server is just realized that the glasses are. Why do they hurt so much? Nose bridge needs adjustment, maybe. Ugh. This feels like shit. Okay, so where are we? Now we're on the server. I'm also wearing the wrong glasses, that's why. 1 second. See you again. I have a pair of glasses that are dialed in to focus at 2 feet in front of me. And I forgot that I keep forgetting the other glasses actually give me a bad headache. So this should help a bit. Oh yeah, everything's much clearer now. So anyway, I'm still sort of stuck here. Been stuck here for 5 minutes. So now I need to go to step recorder, or no, step Unisys. Step Unisys. And then just to refamiliarize myself with everything. Step Unisys has a listener. This calls API dispatcher. Actually, this comes in through the network module, but I'm going to leave that out. API dispatcher. Packet. Socket. And so it is going to the case of quarter command. Quarter command dot record start. routing or dispatch to. That dispatch is called do record start packet socket, which, let's go to that. Head hurts so much. Oh, I'll do record start. Which extracts extract session info, which is unit states of matter, game ID, message list options. I'm just gonna mirror this. This is the session info that came in. It's gonna remind me what's there, but I'm gonna mirror it here too. The reason why I'm duplicating this is because it's then obvious it's the same data. So I can see this bridge to here. It's also extracting message list, extract options. Then it calls recorder set, start recording. This is important. I need to probably flag these things where it's actually something important is happening. So for something like the broadcast thing, I actually want that to stand out a little bit. So broadcast, that's when an actual message is being sent. So here, doing do record start, just here, recorder start recording session info options. And it's also emitting some events. What does that actually do? Emit record start message. Emit get display props message. I didn't think it did work that way. What does emit event do? Function emit event. Okay, so it actually sends that message. So who emits record start? This is another broadcast thing. Oops. So I need to mark it. Mark that and see who implements those. The do record start, that's everything in do record start. But in recorder, start recording, that's in step recorder, I believe. So third file, step recorder, start recording. It's this file. What's it doing? It's used for anything. Oh, it sends. create a write stream. Then we do to rec file path. Then we talk to the video server. Let's know something here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it creates the write server, and then it actually emits another thing. Socket. It's emit. The Uninet. Create write stream for recording. Getting lost again. Then it says socket emit. Okay, this is a certain particular video server. Vid serve socket send rec start. From rec name directory. And rec name is what? Rec name. File name. Directory is relative to app storage. So this is a different signaling protocol. So I'm going to mark it with a pound. Let's see. I'll mark it with an S, or actually this is the video producer. How am I going to do this? I'll mark it with a V for video. It looks like, no, we'll use the hash mark. Or maybe just this. So this sends the video service socket. Anyway, there's still more. It prints recording. Oh, this creates the database entry. Save meta based on file name key. Database. Alright, so but then when this starts, this essentially creates, preps everything for recording. So by setting the message filter list, This tells the system to save all the incoming data to a file that's in mWriter. And I'm missing something here. Oh, vidserver rec start. That is happening on the video server. Video server is step vid server. It's a completely different signaling protocol. This was not originally a module that we had developed, but now we've taken it indoors, so to speak. And where is this handled? This is the video server, so it should understand a recorder socket. Recording devices, recorder interface. What do we have here? Recorder sockets, interfaces. We have rec list, rec start, rec stop, disconnect. Oh, I guess for headache. When did they start this? 4:30? What time is it now? It's only been 45 minutes, and I feel like I'm dying. So anyway, we're implementing rec start. This is in step vidserv. Rec start message. The message handler is rec start. Oops, I'm doing 2 2 saves the rec name in the directory. So it gets the directory. Oh, does it pass it on? Later file saving. And here's yet another command that's issued. What is this? Oh, this is a producer socket? Producer socket. Send. Rec start. Step. Where is this? No, this is not in step anymore. This is in producer. Good lord. Producer. Producer app. So what happens to the producer app? Ugh. With producer app, where is that even that file? It's video producer. Is it controller.js? or this controller. Oh, this is a terrible code again. This is video producer controller, and does this even work? No. Signaling related, it's ICE related. Header C is a rec start. Let's make a list of producer. So commands. We have find socket on. Let's only do it this way. So socket. This is a producer socket. Connect. The ones we want are, I think, basically rec start and rec stop. Where am I? Oh wait, I can't do it this way. Producer app stop. Start recording. Where is this? That's in this. Set up local media recorder. Connection to valid stream. In that case, that's WebRTC. This. It's on stop and start. It's listed down here. What? Who the hell does this emit it to? Oh, this goes back to video server. Look, you're reading this right. All the hashing has already happened. Oops. Start recording. It sends up a bunch of utility stuff. Emit. Alright, this is again video. Video socket. Starting to like lose my send direct start. Back. So first step Unisys or recording, start recording sends a rec start command and it receives back to the producer or back to vidserve because I guess we didn't actually have a red start thing. That makes no sense. So actually, this is different. This is a different socket. It's different from the playback socket. So I need to actually look in a different place. Here's where step feed assists. Set. Not set. I'm really starting to lose my focus. I was blanking. Oh, right. It's producer socket. Oh, but that's in. No, I was in the producer socket. So this has to go back to step vid server. Producer socket or S producer on. Let me make a note here. Move these out of the way. Producer. Oh, good lord. It also sends and receives these. That's why it's so confusing. We're back to step vid serve. Add, or rather, new consumer, new producer socket. That's funny. New producer is this new consumer. So now I can't find anything anymore. Producer. Let's skip all the ice stuff. Zip step vid serve dot rec start. It gets a file path. Where's file paths provided from though? Oh, this is the payload from it, which was sent from controller according to length. Oh wait, that's not right. All of these omissions that are happening. Stop. Start. Let's start cause start back to the producer. Doesn't include. What's the length? It doesn't include a file name. That's weird. So okay, controller is the producer in this case. Producer receives and okay, that's why this receives a. It also receives a rec start. So it goes start recording. Which does what again? It's not even listed here. It's freaking a wall of text. They record start. Vid server sign rec start. Rec start handler. This is call. So it receives or start recording. And also some of these other things. That's stupid. Let's go back. What else does this do? It set up media recorder to send rec chunk, rec stop, store commands to the video server as warranted. So then back to vidserve. Back to this. It's very convoluted. So rec start. That's handled by a new producer socket. This producer socket rec start. File path I don't think is used. Is it? It's not. This is duration. Just saves the rec name. Saves. Recording names. Update. Saves the directory name. Does it actually emit? Creates buffer. Also traps and. So has stop and rec chunk. Behaviors. Oh, I'm so tired. So that is the first thing that happens. And then it continues. The video buffer information is sent as regular rec chunk messages back to the server. Okay. How long has this been? It's been, I started at 4:30. It's now, it's a little over an hour and 25. So I'm actually really wiped right now. So I'm going to come back to this after doing something else to refresh my brain. Uh, but I have at least I tagged all this stuff down here so I can follow it through and then go back to here. You can see like it's similar. So when someone clicks on the particle teacher things, it clicks this button. That button gets handled by who? Let's go start recording. So this is in the comm controls. Go start recording. Where's start recording located? I'm missing something. Don't have to start recording. On recording, click. Oh, that's in the JSX file. JSX. And it does all this stuff. Basically, just dispatches a command with some data. Is this including the recorder? It is. Yeah. So then, what was I saying? That all happens up in here. It sends the broadcast. Is that right? Broadcast start session. Then it also calls record start. Oh wait, no, particles. This is particles. How do they represent that? Oops. Okay. This jumps to Unisys. And it goes and jumps on. So it goes from here, and then it goes to particles. Oh wait, it goes from here. Here, particles teacher, to here, and then particles teacher does what? Oh wait, it just sends the record start command. And then step Unisys gets it. Where is it? Step Unisys. And it dispatches it, and it talks to producer. Producer starts something, and sends it back to step Unisys. Yeah, this is. But I've already lost track of which rec start is going where. Because the rec start message is like it's being sent willing. Well, it's being forwarded and sent, but it's not clear from looking at the code what the order is until you trace it out like this. And this is the system I want to improve because I don't like how that works right now. Anyway, I am going to take a break and maybe eat some dinner, go for a walk, do something that involves movement of the body, and then hopefully come back to this. I've done almost my minimum chunk of billable work for the day, but I didn't do one yesterday, so I'll probably do another one. I should do another one just to get back on track and see how that goes. But I find this kind of work mind-numbing, just tracing things. If I can distill this down to something that's easier to follow, that would be freaking great. I'm not sure if it's possible, though. It's only until I start converting like this list of stuff in the lower right, when I start converting all this stuff into some sort of diagram that can swish around more easily, then I might see the opportunities for what to condense and the clearer separation of function. Okay, that's it. it for now. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go. I feel like sticking my head in a bucket of ice water, and maybe I'll be back later. Bye. Ooh.